On the way to the farm to assess Helene damage, we took a shortcut through Sparta. On Tree Nursery Road, before we turned in, we noticed lots of chinaberry trees down.
Now the hunters did this.
Mm-hmm. This is my Sony RX107 showing the damage as we enter the farmland and go around the 40-acre field. And this was the first tree we came to that we had to deal with. All right, I guess that's Trey helping Newsom with that big tree. And here we have one up against the farmhouse. Oof, there's a big one. Yep. They're gonna get it cleared. This one is a big one. Uh-oh, that's where the screen got damaged. While Newsom and Trey were clearing the way, I was assessing. After Trey cleared the way, Newsom parked the truck. He came around with me and we looked at all the trees down. That stick was 6 inches in. The pool went to the dump, and the camellia survived all these downed trees. We brought the generator for the AC, fans, and our skillet.
Bad at all.
But first, we drove around in Trey's truck to assess the damage. He's our forester.
Stand and clear cut the rest of it. You know, you got to decide to make that call.
We learned that his wife is a first responder and a paramedic.
In her truck, of course, she's a first responder.
They both drive trucks. But I feel confident that hers is immaculate compared to his. Oh, yes.
But
we spent the next 10 minutes or so sharing emergency situation stories, and hers were the most incredible.
You just slide right out if you got your seatbelt on tight.
Slow down a little bit.
Back at the farmhouse, this is the other entrance that is blocked. This is from that blockage looking back at the farmhouse. This is after I cleaned the refrigerator. Let me share that story. So I come in to find the refrigerator and freezer covered in ants. And so the first thing I did was spray them with off. I don't know what kind of ants. I couldn't tell without a flashlight. So I went and got my gloves. So I start by putting on my headlamp. That way I can see what all needs to be wiped down and removed. That looks like something I left here. I bet that's a mess. So for future reference, the hardest thing to clean out of here was rotten sausage. And the easiest thing were hard packaged ice creams. Although my ice cream was pretty nasty. But the coffee was not so bad. But the rotten meat, all right. And it still stings. And this is the system Newsom had running off the generator. This is a time lapse of me with the GoPro on my head taking all the oak limbs and making a wildlife barrier around the edges of the farm. This is looking out one of the kitchen windows when I was cleaning the refrigerator. And there's Newsom relaxing after some hard labor. Saturday, Aaron and Mackenzie came and were tremendous help. The new gas steel chainsaw took a while to get started, and then it got stuck. I took many breaks and thought about what my physical therapist would recommend that I be doing. These are pictures I took with the Sony. During this time, I had the GoPro set on time lapse. Let me show that to you. The only real damage was to the chimney cap. I had to rescue this green tree frog twice. There has always been a green tree frog living on this chimney. Saturday, we got a 25-year-old oak tree off the farmhouse. Using the new GoPro 12, I put it on time lapse, and this was a 15-minute time lapse that was probably 2.5 hours worth of work. I edited and gave you a few seconds at the beginning, in the middle, and here at the end, when we finally got the truck over there and hauled off the big limb that was leaning on the fireplace. We now have a new oak limb border around the farmhouse and a lot of new oak firewood. These are sunset pictures I took Friday night with my Sony, set on a low ISO. At first I didn't zoom in, and then I zoomed in a little bit and I got even better color. That's looking out over the 40-acre field right there. Newsom made a fire in the fire pit, and we cooked our leftover Atlas pizza, enjoyed it on the skillet. Oh, and I gave Newsom a bath in that white cooler. The next morning, I knew the sun would rise around 7:38, so I had Newsom drive me through Davisboro so we could get the sunrise over at the 40-acre solar panel farm. Yep, that's as pretty as at the beach, Newsom. You got some pine trees in the foreground.
Just provides good contrast.
Yeah. Pine trees are hard to draw, too, you know. Mm-hmm. Here I am zooming out with the Sony to show you where we really were.
Like the solar?
In Davisboro. Okay. And here we are. We decided to go down Tanner Lane, and this is American sicklepod and broomweed. I posed in front of a tree that was pretty much rotten in the middle anyway. And while Newsom talked to a couple of our hunters, I ventured into the inner sanctum of pine trees, being quite cognizant of fire ants, mosquitoes, and other creatures of the inner sanctum. On the way back to the farmhouse, we encountered the strangest creature of all. Newsom had to explain to me that it was a sprayer. You just keep wanting to be in that tree, don't you? You just keep wanting to be in that tree. So I'll end this little story with the rescue of this green tree frog, who obviously enjoyed living in that tree. Coming down. Coming down. You're lucky to be alive.
You can charge inside.
Okay. You got it. Did you put it on there? Or did you give my phone back to me?
Your phone's in the car.
Okay, you're charging it. All right, little bit. I'm gonna put you on the other side of the house. Come on, be up here. Be up there. That's a windowsill. I know that tree was your home. I'm sorry. There you go. Yay! And here's a screenshot of that little fellow on my hand. There you go.